You are a waste man and you are going in the trash where you belong. There's no point of having a male contact in your phone that's just texting you saying, hey, good morning, what you doing? He's not your therapist. You know what he's after. He's not.
Now look at the difference between these two women.
For better.
For better.
For worse.
For worse.
For richer.
For richer.
For poorer.
For poorer.
We hit that snag about 20 times in counseling. Brill made it very clear to Jonathan, you cannot be broke.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
You gotta stop it.
I don't like that shit.
For sure, bro.
I don't like that shit.
In sickness.
In sickness.
And in health.
And in health.
To love.
To love.
Cherish.
Cherish.
And to obey.
We didn't talk about that one in counseling.
We did talk about that in counseling. Yes, we did. So you want me to repeat that again? You want to just keep going?
I think we can keep going.
All right.
Meanwhile,
I'll forever submit to you. I'll forever submit to you. I'll forever submit to you, Miles. I'll forever respect you, Miles. I'll forever honor you, Miles, as the head of our home and no other.
I couldn't tell the difference, could you? Women have been getting away with being slick like on that first clip for a while. Don't let men start having standards and start requiring that second clip. Ooh-wee. She is just hangry. Go get her something to eat.
There's one place you're not going on a first date.
On a first date? Their place.
If a man invites me to his house on the first date, I'm going. And then I'm gonna rob him.
but you one crazy ass bitch.
Selective memory is real. This one says, my wife can't remember if she turned her straightener off, but she knows what I said 11 months ago at 3:52 p.m. Crystal clear.
Indoor, outdoor living, open space. So stupid. What do they call it? Now, indoor, outdoor living, and then it's like open floor plan. It has an open floor plan. Look, over here's where you make cookies. And while you do that, you can watch somebody watching TV. It's like, I like the walls. Open floor plan is great until you have a fight with your wife, and then you just can't get away from her. I mean, walls save marriages. Can't just have her looking at you, just hating everything about, just staring at the back of your head. She's out in the kitchen. There's a skillet. She just starts thinking, like, what if I just grabbed it, walked over, whacked him on the head?
This video was sponsored by
me. That's who put this thing together. I'm the man up in this piece.
We're a small channel. Be a part of the 1K club. Go and hit subscribe and hit that notification bell. Let's get back into it.
As a woman, you should only have valuable male contacts. Because you know what? A man will have a contact list full of women on his phone, knowing who to call when he wants what. When he wants the guap guap 300, he knows who to call. When he wants someone to cook him a meal, he knows who to call. When he wants someone to Netflix and chill, he knows who to call. See, women nowadays just like to have a whole bunch of contacts just to have the good morning notifications. But no, I want valuable contacts that I know that if I'm in need of something or if I need help, they can help me. If you're a man and you are in my contact list and you provide no value, you are a waste man and you are going in the trash where you belong. There's no point of having a male contact in your phone that's just texting you saying, hey, good morning, what you doing? He's not your therapist. You know what he's after. He's not providing no value. Next caller. Why is he in your phone? He's taking up iPhone storage. Block, 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 and delete. Only valuable contacts. Because all the men in your phone, they're only after one thing, and that one thing is what you have in between your legs. Use that to your advantage. You know that all these men that are in your phone are after one thing, that you only need to have valuable contacts because what you have in between your legs is valuable, clearly. Why are you having male contacts in your phone that's just texting you what you're doing, good morning, like he's a therapist, but he can't text you how much you need? It's expensive to be a woman.
If you're a man, it's okay to have female friends, but you should take her phone one day and see what your name is saved under. You might just learn something. DoorDash Jeff.
This is what I notice about dating and relationships. Men start off the relationship by putting in 100% effort, and then over time, it slowly goes down. It'll go from 100 to 90, and then 90 to 80, and then around 75% effort, you're like, hey, what happened? Because that's when you notice and you finally say something. And then he'll be like, I'm so sorry, and then it'll go back up from a 75% to 80% because he only puts in an extra 5% effort, but you see that as effort and improvement. And then he'll do it again, and as time passes, that 75 will go down to 70, 60, 50, 40, and will only go back up by 5% every time. Next thing you know, you are just happy with a guy putting in 20% because that is better than 10% effort. That, my friends, is just not a good place to be in a relationship over.
Stop victim blaming. That man is feeling undervalued and unappreciated because you're not pouring into him like you used to anymore. He's just meeting you where you are.
If you want someone to be obsessed with you, if you are not already in a relationship with someone, don't show them how upset you are. Just show disinterest. If they're not texting you as much as you want them to, don't give them a whole long paragraph. Just distance yourself. Just focus on something and someone else. If they're doing something that would bother you for your boyfriend to be doing, but they're not your boyfriend yet, you can't react to them as if they are. You just gotta hold off, and also just realize if that's the way that they're treating you, that's how they feel about you, and that's the type of person that they are. And that might sound a little toxic, but it's also toxic to let your emotions overwhelm you so much that you absolutely need to tell this person what you're thinking. Someone who is emotionally balanced won't care enough. If a guy doesn't text you back soon enough, you're gonna think whatever with this guy and move on to whatever else you're doing with your life. So don't think about it as I have to be honest, I have to say what's on my mind, that's the right thing to do. It's not. The right thing to do is just feel better and not care about this guy anymore.
Yes. And you're communicating that you're not coming from abundance and you're coming from this situation where you need this to work so bad for you to be happy.
So I had a conversation with my homegirl a couple of weeks ago. She called me during lunch. Baby, let me tell y'all something. I am a foodie. I do not like answering the phone whenever I'm eating because I love for my food to be hot. But if I love you, I'll take the phone call. She's upset. She's screaming. She's crying. She's mad. She goes into why she's upset. Then she starts kind of spiraling. She starts saying, you know, I don't need him. Talking about her husband. I don't need him. I can do this alone. I can leave him right now. I'm going to leave him. Blah, blah, blah. All right. Each time that she had a break in that rant that she was going on, I tried to speak. She wouldn't allow me to speak. My friends already know. I'm the person, I don't like to therapize my friends unless I absolutely need to. But I am really big on helping people understand that sometimes when your emotions are so high, it clouds your judgment and you say very irrational things and you act irrationally. Now, granted, as I'm listening, I realized that what he did, it didn't warrant this reaction. This is something else that's going on. She's going on a deep end, okay? And like I said, I like for my food to be hot. So I'm eating, I'm listening, but I really don't like to be disturbed when I'm eating. So I'm like, all right, hold on, honey. You're going to let me speak. You're going to give me a little moment. I'll let you vent. Like at this point, this is over 30 minutes. I've let you vent. I've let you get it out. Do you want me to say anything? And she's like, no. She's like, I already know what you're going to say. No, I don't want to hear that right now. Okay, that's fine. I've listened to this conversation. I've listened to you speak and run in circles. And not one time, because it seemed like every time you got quiet, you wanted me to interject. That's what it seemed like to me. But then when I did so, you'll start talking over me. So I told her, you know what? I'm going to let you figure that out. Whenever you're ready to have a conversation about this and actually work towards a solution, you can call me. But as of right now, I'm going to enjoy my food boundaries. Now, to get to the point, after a couple days passed by, once, you know, she was kind of like resolved in her mind, her temper was better, she was able to actually process things, she calls me. Unfortunately, the damage was already done in her marriage. But she calls me and she says, I need your help. Okay. All right. Now we're working with something. Now, let me make sure that I have the capacity to be able to help you. Luckily, that day I did. So she was like, in this situation, Kitty, what would you tell a couple?
It's amazing how she didn't say, what would you tell me? She said, what would you tell a couple? So she's already looking to pass the blame onto her husband. She called in need and still not ready to be held accountable. Let's see what else happens.
Okay. The main thing is that she kept on saying that she didn't need her husband. My first go-to is, did you tell him that? Did you tell this man that you didn't need him? She says yes. Oh, Lord Jesus. Okay. How did that go? What was his response? He blew up. Okay, well, if you don't need me, I don't need to be here. They ended up sleeping in separate beds that night, didn't talk to each other for a couple of days. So then I asked her, okay, do you feel like you don't need him? I don't need him. I don't need him. I can do this alone. I'm independent, blah, blah, blah. All right, cool. So leave him. That's not the answer I wanted, Kitty. Well, stop saying that you don't need him. You married this man. This is your partner in life. Stop telling your spouse that you don't need him. This is your husband. So if you don't know, I'm all about perspectives. So let's look at different perspectives. All right. You say you don't need your husband. All right. You got friends? Yeah. You need your friends? Absolutely, I need my friends. Okay, why do you need your friends? We go down a list. They're my support. Whenever I'm going through things, I can talk to them. We share memories. We laugh together. We go through life together. All of that. Okay, you need your friends. Do you have those same moments with your husband? I heard her smack her lips. No, let's be for real. Let's be for real. Do you not share laughter with your husband? Do you not get through life with your husband? Do you not get different perspectives and advice and support and encouragement and things like that from your husband? Yeah. In that moment, you didn't. Or am I mistaken? She goes, in that moment, I didn't. I felt like I wasn't getting the right amount of support. So you just completely cut off your husband and say you done with him. You don't need him because in a moment he had something that pushed against, or maybe in a moment he had a just human fault, because we're human. He had a moment where he couldn't be the support that you needed. But whenever your friends can't be supportive or they're going through their own things, you don't say that you're going to cut your friends off. I hear her choke up. All right. So I'm like, all right, let me lighten up, because I hear she's crying and stuff now. You know, she's trying to hide the fact she's crying, but you can hear about her nose sniffs and all that stuff. All right. And so I'm like, all right, let me slow down with you real quick. Exactly what do you need from me right now? And she was like, tell me exactly what you would tell your couples. So I tell her, baby, men need to be needed. That's where their sense of purpose comes from. That's where a lot of their fulfillment comes from. Men are taught to be protectors, providers, problem solvers, and they want to feel valuable. And so they really need those meaningful connections. That's how they express their love.
Men don't need to feel appreciated. We need you to recognize and keep that same level of respect, as we still are that protector. We never stop doing our job, so stop acting as if we did.
And care. Now, even with these roles, it doesn't mean that they will not drop the ball. They're humans. When we speak of human element, people go through things. People have life experiences, situations that sometimes alter the way they see things. It alters their empathetic responses, but it doesn't mean that they don't care about you. It just means that in that moment, they probably can't give you the response that you actually need. So then she goes, well, why did he draw back? Why did he just walk out? Why did he just stop talking to me? Because you told him you don't need him. If he doesn't feel valued, you simply don't need him. You just hit his confidence, right? You just really took a jab at his esteem. Why is he going to be motivated to do more when you just specifically told this man, in other words, he's not valuable to you? I pull back then and I say, okay, let me not come from a psychological standpoint. Let me talk to you as your sister in Christ. You are a believer of God. When you married your husband, you came together under God, and God granted you that union. So now we need to make sure that we keep this union together, tight knit, even in these hard moments. We do so. That's your partner through life, through the good and the bad. Your husband is your sounding board during difficult times, but it doesn't mean that he doesn't have his own difficult times. And in their nature of being strong, because that's the expectation and that's the way they've been conditioned, men don't always show that. They don't always show those moments of weakness. So from a more biblical standpoint, I said, you need your husband. Let's get into the word. I said, the word says that your husband is supposed to support and guide you and your family to faith. That is in the book of Ephesians, honey. God gave Eve to Adam. Adam needed a companion. But even when he gave Eve to Adam, they both became partners in life. They were one another's support. They loved one another. They processed and went through life with one another, regardless of what happened. You need your husband. That is your mental, emotional, physical, spiritual safeguard. He is the provider and the protector of you, your marriage, your home, baby. Ephesians 5:25 talks about your husband loving you as Christ loved the church. That's sacrificial love. What better love than sacrificial love to understand selflessness and commitment? We need that as wives. We need to experience that. We need our children to see that. Not only is he your husband, he's your children's father. He plays a significant role in the household. A father's active role in the household is important. In our household, we need support. We need guidance. We need direction that sometimes we as wives and mothers simply cannot give. And the children's father, your husband, is there for moral development. He is absolutely necessary. The word speaks on the importance of a husband and a wife's union. We need that. So she listens and she actually takes it all in. And she's like, you know what, Kay, this is why I love you. I can't stand you because you get me together, but I love you. And I say all things with love. My circle, they already know what it is. But let me tell you something. As I would tell any of my clients, when your emotions are high, your judgment is clouded. And a lot of times when we're operating from such intense emotions, we say very hurtful things that are consequential that we cannot take back. We can't take those things back. Be mindful of what you say when you are angry. Be slow to saying angry things. Those brash, hurtful things, be slow to them. And I understand that in a moment you're so upset, but baby, you got to get that together. Because it's so much power in telling a man you don't need him. There's so much power in you telling your husband you don't need him. Don't let the enemy come into your marriage. First of all, don't let the enemy attack your husband, because the enemy can use you to attack and break down your husband. Okay? We need our significant others. As wives, we need our husbands, and husbands need their wives. Remember that. Okay? Bye, babies.
Everybody needs a friend like Miss K here. She held her friend accountable, but did you see how much work she had to do? Her friend could not see the forest through the trees. She even had to go biblical on her. I know, but somebody had to hear it today. Maybe that was you. Either way, I appreciate you for tuning in. If you made it this far, big thanks, big ups. We'll catch you on the next one.